we go. Live. Go in live. All right. Let me go back over here. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. You're looking at me. Syreeta is coming back in to the Zoom room. I just wanted to make sure that we went live on time, as I always do. Oh, thank you. I am Andrea Lawful Sanders for the Ask Muva Lunch Hour Live, a show that is hosted every Wednesday from noon to 1 p.m. on behalf of the Philadelphia Sunday Sun. Catherine Hicks is the publisher of the Philadelphia Sunday Sun, and she has graciously allowed me to do these shows every single Wednesday. Sometimes she knows what I'm going to do. Sometimes she's not sure what I'm going to do. So while I wait for Syreeta to log in so we can begin this great conversation, I just want to let you know a couple of things. Syreeta and I met officially yesterday while I was interviewing her, Kiera Bradford Gray, Janine Cook from Harriet's, and Denise James, who has been a longtime reporter for 6ABC and now runs her own communications company, as well as teach in the School of Communications at Temple University. And what I picked up from Syreeta Scott made me say to her during the commercial break, I need you to come on my show tomorrow. Let's talk and have a whole dialogue around this. So let me just double check to make sure. Now see, I've got my 3 screens going at one time. So I need you to bear with me. And I'm also going to put up the disclaimer that you can read because you already know. The advice offered during the Ask Muva Lunch Hour Live is intended for informational entertainment purposes only. Use of this broadcast is not intended to replace or substitute for any professional, financial, medical, legal, or other advice. If you have any specific concerns or a situation in which you need all of the above or any of the above, you should consult with an appropriately trained and qualified specialist. The Ask Muva Lunch Hour Live, its host, the Philadelphia Sunday Sun newspaper and publisher, are not responsible for the outcome of any advice in any situation. You and only you are completely responsible for your actions. All right, Syreeta is coming in. I have to share this to my page because people are already asking me, where is the page? So if you would like the Philadelphia Sunday Sun, please like the Philadelphia Sunday Sun, and it will, every time we have a show on, if it's me or Moni or Danae, you will see us automatically, okay? And I know lots of you are working, so I realize that you watch this show after you get off from work. Last week, I had a conversation with Dr. Doreen Laurie that had so many hits, and we talked about menopause. It was the most fascinating show because the thing that I ascribe to and what I ask my guests all the time is this: be as open and as transparent as you possibly can without getting any of us into trouble. And so Dr. Laurie and I sat down last week, Wednesday, and right here on the Ask Muva Lunch Hour Live, we began discussing menopause, all the things that come along with it, thinning hair, we gain weight, vaginal dryness. We talked about all of it. And so I have been looking for a urologist to come on and talk about men and their version of menopause and erectile dysfunction. So I'm looking for a Black urologist to have the conversation. Hi, Syreeta.
Hi, my love. Thank you so much for your, thank you.
You're so
Lord,
welcome.
this is what the taking out fires look like.
And you have the nerve to have on red.
Listen, all my menopause came out.
So I'm so glad to have you on. I was telling everybody how I felt something in your energy while we were talking yesterday with the other 4 women on WYD radio. And at the commercial break, I said, I need a whole hour with you. And you so graciously was like, yes. So look, we have a lot that we have to talk about. Since we started with menopause.
It stuck up on me like a creepy old man.
Listen, this is a personal question, but are you in menopause, going towards menopause, treading towards menopause? Are you full blown in it?
I say it's kissing me on my neck. It's trying to make sweet love to me. Because let's be clear, why does the neck sweat first?
I'm telling you, I know. Are you having hot flashes?
Hot flashes. I had to keep my emotions in check or they come. I had to be mindful about eating caffeine because I had more. I have to change my diet optimally as quickly as possible. When I eat the wrong thing, I feel the wrong thing. So I welcome it because I don't need these tools no more.
And listen,
I don't need none of it no more. I already took care of it.
When I found out I was pregnant with my second son, I was like, what? What? No, I wasn't trying to have no more babies. And he has been such a joy. So I understand it. Listen, there's something special about you. When we began talking about this last year of, George Floyd being killed and what that has meant, you opened your mouth and said you wanted to make sure that the employees of Duafe Hair Salon was okay. Yeah. That you began selling product to make sure that everybody, and then you offered the space for them if they wanted therapy. You were the only person that I spoke to, my sister, in I can't tell you how many months who have actually said this to me. Now, maybe there are others that are doing it. I just don't know. But I found that to be so incredibly special. So tell us about Duafe Hair Salon. How did it come about?
Okay, so it came in trauma and it came with some drama, right? When my mom put me in private school because I'm dyslexic, I'm severely learning disabled, learning difference, whatever makes everybody else feel good about it, right? And so going to private school, being the only Black girl, then deciding to go to Hampton to try to engage, have that, different world experience. Everywhere I went, I was slapped on the forehead with the caste system, right? I was slapped in the head with colorism. I was slapped. And so finally, when leaving corporate America and leaving all these little white environments, even being around us and having that feeling of not being enough, not feeling enough, not being pretty enough, it forced me to dig a little deeper. And what that digging a little deeper was me learning about my culture, understanding about my beauty, and seeing why it was such an attack on who we are. That attack on who we are and me learning about the history of why we feel the way we feel, I turned lemons into lemonade into lemons. Because what I knew was it was a part of the construct for me to feel this way about my natural, authentic beauty. So I'm going to live my life as revolutionary as possible and wear the things that's going to make you feel uncomfortable, my natural self. So when I started this whole Duafe thing, it came with, as I said, drama, me not knowing myself, me not understanding the importance of my natural beauty.
Yeah. So it's so funny that it's so funny. Well, it's not funny. It's interesting to me that you started this way because I immediately saw your soul. The minute you opened your mouth, I saw your soul. I said, oh, this one's about to be a situation. Now, see, people walk around. People think that beauty comes from this outward thing, right? But our beauty shines outwards when we're really good within, when we really take care of people within. You can put on all the makeup in the world and still be ugly. I tell people that all the time. And so there was something about the trauma that you went through and the journey that you had to navigate through to get you to this place where you are today. And I was going to wait till the end of the show to say this, but I'm telling you something huge is coming your way. I feel it. I feel it because you've done your work. You've absolutely done your work, right? So you started Duafe. How many years ago did Duafe begin?
We've been open for 21 years. I've been doing natural hair for 23 years.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Syreeta. Were you doing hair while you were in corporate America, or you just decided to start doing hair?
So here's where the story begins. Corporate America was the I'm going to kick you in your butt and you're going to be forced to do something different. I'm going to make things so difficult. You want to cry when you walk in the door. You want to feel so displaced. I'm going to put you in an environment that I'm going to squeeze something great out. That's what Allstate was. Allstate was, I want to put another square peg in a round hole, and you're going to see how long you can stick and stay. So that, my friend, my dear friend Isaiah was like, Syreeta, people love it when you do your hair. People love it. Start doing your hair and see if you make more money in that corporate job. And that's exactly what happened.
Wow. Wow.
So that's, and I didn't
Syreeta,
start
you
doing
also,
hair.
yeah, but you also make amazing hair care products. You gotta, come on now, Syreeta. You gotta sit down and tell us how you went from doing the hair to the natural hair care product. Because look at your hair, sis. It's like a lion's mane. So how do you, and I see Lorraine's hair, nice and healthy. How did you get to the place? And let me tell you, for those of us who are in menopause or going through it or sailing through it or swimming through it, we need those products for our hair. So how did you come about creating the product that allows our hair to be so nice and thick and healthy?
So it came from, all right, if we understood, and when I say, and this is the only word, is the only space that I can have this conversation with, okay? It came from knowing how under attack we was, right? It came from knowing that when you read the ingredients that our grandmothers and our mothers and the things that we think we're comfortable with, and you read what's in it, what I realized is I could not feed my population of people with it. Right? I got tired of reading ingredients that I knew was not going to serve my community, that was not going to bring about the health that is needed for us to change our mind about the construct that we're in, right? So when I could not identify a product that I wanted to put on our clients. So then I started reading every herbal book. My mom came in with me, my aunt, my elder, God bless her soul, my aunt Dot came in. We all read herbal books. We all read what we needed to just to be on our body and in our mouths. And that we all came together and we made the ingredients, and we have been making this product for over 20 years. Wow. And every product you see, every style you see that's on our Instagram is made by our products. So it's coming from a holistic space. It's coming from, if you wanted to put that in your mouth, I can't say it tastes good, but you won't be dead or dying. Right? I'm not going to call anything to you that's going to give you in any way anything but something healthy.
So what advice would you have for someone like me who was like thinning up top, thinning along the edges? Do you have a product for that?
Okay, so all right. So part of my job and the reason why I've been in business is telling people the truth. Yes. I can give you topical things all day long, but hair thinning comes from a lack of blood circulation. Hair thinning comes from not drinking your water, not eliminating properly, you're stressing on things that you have no control over. Give it to God. So I can do every product that's going to make you feel good in your mind. But if you're not healthy in your soul and your body, no product is going to bring nothing back. Aging is a cruel, unjust thing. And the only way to get through aging is by changing our minds and actually creating the lifestyle and the blessings and the peace that is deserving. That's how you grow hair.
Listen to me.
Now, if you want to talk about preventative things, I got you on preventative.
Well, hold on. We're going to talk about the
your hair is.
Yeah, hold on one second.
Okay.
We'll talk about the preventative thing. I know I shouldn't have had this blonde thing in my hair. I know, Syreeta. I know.
No, sis, that's not where I was going with this.
Yeah,
you're wrong. I wasn't going there.
Well, hold on, wait. Before you go there, you see how so in my family we have these what we call them, widow's peak, like right in here. Mm-hmm. This was bald, like shiny bald. See how it's growing in here?
Right.
There is no hair product that I'm using. What I started doing is I drink a ton of water. And I when I was diagnosed with diabetes, I completely did a 180 with my diet, right? I dropped the weight and my hair started growing in here. But I did not make the correlation. I just assumed that it was something else. So you're right. And all the topical things won't work if we're not doing what we're supposed to do. And if we're missed out, right?
I'm sorry, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited because I love y'all this much. Listen, y'all, The reason why people don't want to get into holistic whole care of hair, whole care of body, whole care of self is because it requires for them to pay attention to themselves. And I find as Black women, it's much easier to pay attention to everything that's going wrong around us versus the blessing of life, the blessing of the heart beating in our minds and our and blood rushing through our body. If we do not change our minds about what we consider self-care, we're going to be pretty people with no depth. Okay? So it's hard with me being in this industry and my job to make y'all pretty. Pretty is only 3% of what we need to do because we are holding up families and we're holding up communities. So you can buy my products, but why you asked me yesterday, Syreeta, what do you need from us? What did my response was? I need for y'all to take care of yourselves.
Yes, yes.
I need for us to learn how to love as an action word. It does not begin with nobody but us. So when I'm sitting here trying to make sure that your scalp is good, that you're not thinning, that you don't have alopecia, if you are wearing braids constantly, you have less hair than you have, or weave, you have less hair than you had when before you started the hairstyle, then you're making the wrong choice.
Yes.
We have to get out of comfortability and begin to be more action focused on how to love ourselves. Because I'm going to tell you, once we fill up that cup, there is no way you can walk in a room and somebody's not going to love you to the same capacity. And if they don't, it shows their lack of love.
Yes. When you are open for love and when you are fully loved, someone will come and love you in the same capacity that you're giving out. You preaching a heart. Listen. You preaching a heart. How in the heaven sand did we not connect before this? Did not connect. So I want to share something with you. There are people around us who are completely qualified on paper, but when you spend time around them, their souls seem to be like non-existent. They're very enclosed, insular. They only talk to certain people. They only hang around certain people. And in my head, I kept saying to my husband, there's something wrong with that. If you're not filling up your own cup with love and being love and showing love, how can you expect love to come to you in return? The love doesn't come because you have 5 degrees and you're CEO of such and such a corporation, because we see through all of that. Syreeta.
Let me tell you what education has done to us as a community, right? Because my cousin was the first one that graduated from college and she graduated from Penn. I find that education has now become a class system, okay? It has become another form of division for ourselves. It became the only reason you come into salons like mine is because it's award winning, because that's what I do. I put in the work and I put in the care and all the effort. But you driving by the community that you left. And it should not take a white person to give a community value. So now you want to walk back in. You know what traveling did to me? Because I'm on my 3rd passport. Take it as being cocky or not. Me traveling through the world has made me understand what has been fed to us and we have decided yes on. I have been in places and spaces, and let's talk about South Africa, that they have acknowledged what those white people have done to them, or colorless people, whatever makes y'all happy, and they choose to not live in their community. So at any given time, when you go into a township, you'll see a fabulous house next to a shanty, because they understand that even though I am going to be where I know and I'm going to be where I'm appreciated, we got to take back our community, stop selling it to people that don't look like us. Because when you sell it to somebody else, where the hell you think you going? I'm sorry, you caught me. I'm having another flag.
Listen, I want. This is what I want. This is between you and Dr. Lori. I love it. And so, what is the price that you've had to see? This voice that you have comes at a cost. I know. So, what is the price you've had to pay? Because when you hold our people accountable, I keep saying to folks, the house that you live in and the car that you drive and the amount of degrees that you have don't mean a damn thing if you don't know how to treat people well. The amount of money you own don't mean a damn thing if you don't know how to treat people well. And I'm seeing all these empty souls, these empty spirits walking around all dressed up, showing
nowhere to go,
all the right places, and just empty. And you're the first person I've actually had this conversation with. Now listen, the platform that we're on is the Philadelphia Sunday Sun. Let me tell you about Catherine Hicks. Oh, she's probably going to keel over that I'm doing this. sister comes to me and she says, I'd like you to write for me. And I'd had other people ask me to write for them before. But the minute she sat down in front of me, I felt her spirit. See, I'm about feeling people's spirits, right? And in my head, I said, if she tells me she's not paying me, I'm gonna do it anyway. That's how much I vibe with her spirit. I watch her, Syreeta, fill up not only her cup, but because her cup is so full, she fills everybody else's cup around her. You know what I'm saying? When the pandemic hit, I called her. I said, all right, so what do you? She says, well, I had to make sure that all the employees had their computers if everybody was going to work. She just thinks through, and that's who you remind me of. You know what I'm saying? It's the making sure that as I am lifting myself up, I lift other people up with me, not to expect things in return. As a direct result, if Catherine Hicks said, Andrea, I need you to, what do you need? I'll be there. You understand what I'm saying? Because she gives what she has inside of her, and it makes me want to give back. So to hear you talk about that, Syreeta, is an acknowledgement, not just to me, but to others who are listening to you, that we have to stay in our most authentic spaces at all times. And if we don't do our work, we're like poison walking around. Just a big butt and a smile.
You know how they say, everywhere you go, there you are.
Yes.
Okay? Everywhere
Yes.
you go, there you are. So when you talk about the cost that for me to stand in front of you now, I've lost a little bit of my sanity. And how easy to do so in this, as I said, this construct. It is challenging to walk into a space where you want to give, you want people to acknowledge. You know, my job is trying to teach the people around me how to care. Because a part of doing hair, if you don't have empathy, it's so many stylists who are talented is what they can swoop, they can do everything you need. But if you don't have the empathy to know when to shut up, if you don't have the empathy to show up on time, if you don't have the empathy to give of yourself when you know that's your job to do, you have stole everybody's money in front of you. So when people ask me, how have I been able to stay in business as long as I have? It was because I put myself in position to give, because those are the people that I come from. My grandmother is the reason why she had made that trek from Florida to Philadelphia. And her house was one that everybody put their money together. And when the money was right, next person got a house, next person got a house, next person got a house. So if I come from people still to this day with my mom with osteoporosis, will wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and sweep a whole block to show people who still live on it, the value of it, how much they love it clean, but everybody got their hand in it. That's how everything should be done. So if you want to talk about success is the behavior. Success is the behavior to give without the option, without the thought of giving. Because too often, and this is what taught me, too often I had a whole staff around me get paid, and guess who did? I did.
Yes.
I did. But I was the most appreciative one in the room.
Wow.
So this is a thankless job, because let's be clear, if my job is to hold a mirror in front of you and you don't like what you see, guess who you're not going to like? Me.
Yes. Yes.
Right? My job is, regardless to how people think and feel about me, I still got to care about you, even when I feel like times you're not worth my care. Because what does God do for us? What does God do for us?
Tell them, Syreeta.
Jesus, but I know I'm made in his like image.
Yes, but tell them.
So how I got here was the surrendering of self. And let me tell you, God's spirit, ancestors always met me in the middle. I'm here because of.
You got me writing. Okay. We have a woman in Jamaica called Miss Lou. And she has been our ancestral village auntie. She just moved on to the ancestral realm some years ago, but you remind me of her. There's a wisdom that comes from you through the things that you have gone through the lessons that you have learned, that you have passed on. You know how you talked about your grandmother moving from where she was to Philadelphia and really saving and making sure, all right, this one's time for that one to get their house, time for that one to get their house. We call that a partner in Jamaica, right? Where we pull up and we do I'm trying to tell you, it's all a part of what we would ordinarily do. And this is amazing. It's amazing that you
get it.
Yes. It's amazing.
Cannot get it.
Yes. But so God, this whole conversation just did a 180-degree turn, right? Because we were talking about Duafe, but I said it to
But
you.
this is where Duafe came from.
Yes.
And whenever you come into my space and you don't see that person there anymore, it's because they could not follow the code to caring for the people around them. And see, the care isn't about that check that you get every other week. The care is every person you meet. Who are you showing up as? What type of way do you want to make money? You've seen the white people do it where they will rob and steal. Is that your way? Because if that's your way, I can't make money with you.
Yes, or going behind your back and making these subversive moves instead of saying, how can we all work together? She is just as talented as this one is. I am just, we don't do that. Everybody's looking out for themselves. And you've just breathed new life into me, my sister. You have, because all I kept saying was, who are these people? Who are these people? And we talk about the fact that we've only been free 1 year more than we've been enslaved, right? For the however many hundreds of years we were enslaved. But what are the lessons that we've learned from this? What are we taking from this? You know, where is this?
Let me tell you. Go ahead. I'm sorry, because I'm
where is this taking us? You know, I get up on Sunday mornings and I say, come on, let's go for a walk. I'm not trying to make people's lives miserable. It's open and freeing, and it just gives you space to think and to thank the creator and to look at nature. And it's so therapeutic. It's so therapeutic.
Something bigger than you.
Yeah, come on.
Something bigger than you. Something bigger than you. And so it's funny because somebody, and you know, we can talk product, but I have to talk to my sisters in a way because I am meeting y'all in trauma and drama, right?
Yes.
I'm meeting y'all in a space of just despair at times. I am wiping off y'all tears. I am hugging y'all when y'all can't. I am putting these positions. I'm putting these positions only. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let me tell you, Miss Lorraine.
Bring her in the screen for me. Bring her in the screen for me. Bring her in the screen. Let me tell you, this is how I know you're here. Bring her in the screen. No, stay right there for a second, Lorraine. Stay right there. First time I met Lorraine was at Martha's Vineyard. I had gone to a house to interview someone, ran into her, saw her and Chef sitting there. And the spirit that I immediately loved her and Chef. You know good people, Syreeta. I immediately loved her and Chef. And they have loved on us quietly without fanfare since that day. You hear what I'm telling you?
So you know how they say you're supposed to give people roses, right? And here's my rose to Miss Lorraine. What she did when I met Miss Lorraine, I was already broken. I just, half my staff left multiple times. So you asking me, it's hard to work with me because I'm going to ask you to do more than what you think is required, right? So when I met Miss Lorraine, it was really trying to figure out how to emotionally tap back into an environment that I know is easy to take from you.
Yes.
And leave you right where you are. So a large part of this process, she has also given me the wherewithal to love my business again, okay? Being around people who show up for you, even when the times where I don't even expect, like she saw the light behind me, wherever she's looking at, she came as a sister and came and turned that light off just to make sure we can have it better. You see what I'm saying?
That's Lorraine though.
Okay. So that's a part of, that's a part of this process. If you're only thinking money, you're never going to get the blessings.
If you're only thinking money, yes, if you're only thinking money, you'll never get the blessing. You are so right, Syreeta. You are so right. I've said this to people all the time. Open your mouth and speak your truth. And you don't understand. This is my paycheck. But your soul, let's forget the paycheck for a second. Your soul, what cost is it coming to your soul that you take that paycheck and do the kinds of things that you know is not helping your people? Huh?
So just by the choice of choosing to work with Miss Lorraine, I am now present for my family in a way that I've never been. Okay. After I had my son, the same thing happened. All the stylists left, they got tired of me because I kept asking them to do better than what we were doing. We were here. Yo, how do you make good to great? How do you make good to great? It takes a level of pressure. Mm-hmm. So it's anybody's turn to get off the bus when they feel like they can't take it, okay? But we have this opportunity. to not just make people pretty as stylists. We have this opportunity to really, it's not few places that we go in our community and get taken care of well. Think about it. Most of the businesses that are now in our community, they leave when it gets dark, or they're feeding us poison when it's dark. They feeding us poison. We taking their 3 wings worth $1, and we eat in restaurants and places and spaces that we shouldn't even put our mouths to. So think of the care that we get in our community. There's few places. So if the hair salon was always culturally, historically, a place to fill back up, it was a place that the enslaver never walked in because there was no reason for him to. That means it's a place of freedom of movement and of thought. We need to learn how to care a little bit. Wow. We need to stop looking at this like a hustle, because it's not.
Yes. Oh my God. Sis, you have left me, the interviewer, speechless. You absolutely have, because at a time when I am saying my cup is emptying, I'm trying to figure it out. I love on my people. There's a space that I'm sitting in right now that I need to walk away from. And I was like, because it's killing my soul. You know, the very thing that you're talking about, taking the money, but really not giving a diggity dang about the people that we're supposed to be serving. It just doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean? And everybody kept saying, well.
And then you go, no.
Yeah.
Then you implode, because it starts inside first. And then you wonder, why am I so sad with all this money around me? You know, God has put us here for multiple reasons, and it's up to you to find your mission in life. And if your mission has something, if you are the only thing a part of your mission, you have misplaced your mission. Yes. You need to figure out what you can do, because the moment you start, so when you asked me during pandemic, right? Let's be real honest, what happened? I pulled money out of my property, right? So it was money that I had sitting there. The PPP did not show up. I did not have no grants, no nothing. I literally went into my savings to pay the people who was around me. That was my money. You know how many minds I could have put, how many eyes I can have placed to the attachment of money? But what I knew, if I sat there with what I had, what was that going to benefit? The reason why I had the houses is because I work with people. So really, it wasn't all my money.
Anyway,
so me paying what I had to pay them bi-weekly or weekly or whatever I had to give was a small price to pay. Wow. And I still had to give that money without any thought of loyalty.
Because you can. You said a whole mouthful there. You can love on people and give them all your loyalty, come out of your pocket and you have to do it without expecting anything in return, because you are going to end up being heartbroken every time, right?
Man,
every time.
Looking at people like F you, and they don't even know why. It wasn't worth it to me. Yeah. It wasn't worth it. I literally, when I had to open back up July the 8th, and we all work around one another, so we know our higher selves, and we all know each other's lower selves. I literally had to walk in the room without any expectations of anybody wanting to still stick and stay.
Right.
So me going through, I had no time to think about myself during pandemic. Now that I'm not working, my first time in 20 some odd years that I'm learning how to love myself.
Yes. Tell me.
I'm putting all the energy that I put in creating Duafe back into figuring out what my needs are, figuring out what brings me joy.
Yes.
So but that's loving. I'm thinking about a bunch of everybody else's families.
Yes. So tell me what loving yourself looks like.
So you want to know what my day look like? Because it's every day I do it, every moment. So I'm a 4 o'clock in the morning person. I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning because that is my only time that I don't feel like somebody mother or somebody boss. I wake up in the morning. I do my meditation. I do my Reiki practice. I have this personal sauna that I zipper up. It looks like a little, what is it? Look like a little sleeping bag. I sweat. I get my sweat out. I wake up. I make sure I juice for my family for breakfast. And then my day is the moment the kids run, they okay, I don't have my day back until like 9 o'clock. So then after 9, whether it be me journaling and figure out to reframe some of these disgusting stories about my experience in business, reframe some of the dismissive behavior around having my kids, reframing on how I consider my brothers and love them dearly, because I can think of stories, a reason why I can go somewhere else. Okay. But I am now reframing the story. I am looking at, I opened up a boutique and it was crazy. I was at this photo shoot I did somebody's hair for a photo shoot on Monday, and I had a jacket that was from the boutique that I started. And she was like, oh, it's from that boutique. She was like, oh my God, they're so great. And I'm like, yeah, I started it. And just to think that I started this thing that I removed myself from, my friend who also removed herself from, that is still thriving. I had to then change that story. It was I was supposed to come up with that idea. I was supposed to make that call. I was supposed to make that ultimate investment to give it away to that person. She would have been stuck in the restaurant industry for the rest of her life. So now what I am doing, a part of my healing process, is reframing the story. It's also detachment. The detachment of what I wanted to happen versus what happened. The detachment to understand, how do I want to move my love life? It does not mean that I need to break myself to fit in constructs that don't belong to me. So what do you want, Syreeta? The reason why you don't have it, the reason why you're not laying beside somebody, because you didn't choose it, because you're a manifester. So I'm very mindful on the things that I'm manifesting at any given moment, and giving myself the okay to detach myself from the feeling, let it digest it, detach myself from the feeling, and decide on how I view that story to be.
Yes.
So that's what my day looks like, doing it every day.
Syreeta, my God. Okay, where do you see, you talked yesterday about having 900 clients come through Duafe every month. You know that happens. 900, say that again?
It's 859.
850. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. A lot of people care about the environment that's in Duafe when they walk in there. What's next for Duafe? What do you want people to know about what's next for Duafe?
So what I understand about this business is that everybody deserves a piece of the pie, right? And so part of that piece of the pie, especially with some of the people I have the opportunity of been working with for 10, 15, 20 years, those people who've been with me the longest, I am going to outfit a salon for them, and they will own the next Duafe with having the same options, the same possibilities that I had for mine. So now my goal is to make the people around me entrepreneurs. I want them to own their own Duafe. I have a database of over 30,000 people. I have an influx of over 1,000 people who just solely want me to do a virtual consult with them. I have such an influx that I can't keep it to myself. Then ultimately, after I open up 2 to 3, maybe 5 separate Duafes, the goal is to create a whole salon suite. What does that salon suite entail? I'm going to own a warehouse. And when I purchase that warehouse, and versus me wanting to position people to work for me, I'm going to use it as bringing all the modalities that I've been able to travel around the world to experience, where I'm going to curate a space where there is the doula, there is the natural hair, there is the cupping, there is the vaginal steaming, there is the float tanks, there is all the things that we need in our community that can remove us from the medications that are dulling our bodies and our minds. So my goal is to create a space where it's curated solely for our health and our well-being, period.
Wow. 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 You are, if you had to go back in your life and change anything, would you?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Only because I don't know, I think we all have this thing in us that God constantly talks to me like he talks to everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Spirit, ancestors, and it's always those kind like, Syreeta, you shouldn't do that. And I'm like, whatever, leave me alone. And then it'd be like something in front of me that I'll wake up and it says, Syreeta, you should da 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 da, or you should make a left or what have you. I want to be more focused on what that voice is, because when I think about the drama and the trauma that is attached to my life, it's only because I did not listen. It's only because that I chose not to create a level of ease that I deserve. And I know that I'm deserving of now. So if I was to change anything, I would want to be more in tune with what that voice is inside of me. So just so I could have created more ease in those times where God, I literally, my back was up against the wall and it was only him, she, those, them that got me out, right? So now in this chapter is to create more ease and to listen to myself more deeply and to trust myself.
Oh, what should a client expect when they walk into Duafe? Tell them, just, they're all listening now. What should they expect when they walk into your hair salon? And then talk to me about my blonde hair and how to manage this properly, because I, you know.
No, it's beautiful. I'm an advocate on blonde hair on brown people. Some people, we have, no, let me explain. Some of us have red undertones, and some of us have yellow undertones. You currently have yellow undertones. I see yellow and I also see the red. You going blonde was a better match than if you were to do anything else, because it blends with your beauty. So the only thing I'm not into, that's not who I am. I say you do what makes you look sexy, but take care of it along the way.
Okay.
So what would they expect walking to Duafe? One, there's no fast moving actions. You have to go through a consult, period. Whether you walk through our doors and have a consult or you do a virtual consult with me, all right? So after you do a virtual consult and we can just hear what you need, then it's our job to devise a plan. That plan may not be done just with solely one stylist. That plan may be done with multiple stylists, because whoever is, whatever that person's genius is in here is what we then schedule. So it's a non-competitive environment.
Wow. Keep talking, because you just
Our culture.
Okay, go ahead. So it's a non-competitive.
Right. You have to adjust to our culture. Our culture being non-competitive, so you have multiple eyes on your hair. And the reason why it's important to have multiple eyes, multiple people, and this is culturally, I know we have to adjust to this, is because I know Michelle, she know how to repair some locks. She is superb at styling, repairing, locks is her thing. I also know that there's like for me, I'm amazing at styling and interlocking. Those things take me no time at all. So if you're with me and I'm overbooked, then I can definitely have Vinny do your hair. So for me, it's about respecting people's time. For me, it's about making sure you get everything you need, even if it's not from one stylist. And thirdly is you having to adjust, because we will say no to you if you come in and ask for something that's going to do you more harm than good.
So you will people know, yes.
Duafe, for me, just how our culture is, no is a loving word. The reason why some of our edges are out, the reason why we are losing our hair in certain spaces, that you went to a stylist that did not have the integrity to tell you no.
So if I wanted to come and do a consultation, how long would it take for me to get an appointment? Because I want to come. I need you to touch my scalp, literally.
That takes a little patience too, but
okay, no problem. I'm willing to be patient. You're closing. I can hear you now. You're free.
So we come in on our day off just to get people in, because we're that booked.
Okay.
So I will say, if the person was patient enough to wait a week, sometimes it can happen within the next couple of days. But we're
Okay.
not going to make a quick decision on try to get you in if we know it's the wrong stylist, if they're available. The
Yes.
goal is to match people with the right style. So you want me to tell you the other major goal?
Yes.
The major goal is to communicate with us, because a true test of a good business is how they solve problems, if that they are problem solvers. So if ever you hit a wall, you have a circumstance, you have a situation that you feel like could have been handled differently, or if you felt like you wanted something more, the only thing we pray, we ask for you to communicate with us, because we will jump over the moon to try to please people.
Right. How can people reach you? What's the number to Duafe?
Duafe is 267-297-7636.
297-7936.
267-297-7636.
7636. I'm going to call the salon and make an appointment to have a consultation. I do. I
love on you. You so love. Before COVID, we used to feed y'all so good.
Yes.
But New Year's Eve here is always the day you want to come, because that's when I make the collard greens, the black-eyed peas, the fried fish, the everything else, just so we can bring in the new year right.
Yes.
Let's cook something. Like, you cook for me, I cook.
Yes.
And
yes.
Let's how we do it.
Yes, I'm getting ready to cook for you too. I can't wait. Next week, honey, I'm calling you. Just if you can give me a Sunday afternoon, I'm going to spread a table before you. It's all going to be Jamaican food though. All Jamaican food. So you have to tell me what your favorite Jamaican foods are. And yes, Kathy, I'm going to be sure. All of it. So you eat all of it. Okay.
Here.
Yeah. Huh?
So whatever it is that you cook, I will bring my beloved self over.
Okay.
I'll make sure I don't eat all day, but enjoy every moment of it, and going for a side second.
And I always make that's okay. And I always make enough so that you can take, because I have these big immigrant pots that I don't know how to make a small meal, right? So I make these big immigrant pots of food, and I'll make enough for you to take home and have food for a couple of days. That's how I cook. That's how I roll over here, right? So excited.
Yes, please, and thank you.
Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. It's so amazing. So, wow. You blew my mind today. I knew there was something there that I really wanted to get to know you better. I understand what that something is now. So if they want to reach Duafe, 267-297-7636. You are a full service salon. Multiple people will look at your hair. There is a very laid back vibe there. And you have to be willing for people to tell you no if it's going to harm your head or your body in any way, correct?
Period.
What else do you want people to know about Syreeta Scott? Let's stop talking about Duafe. What do you want people, if all things considered and the world was wide open and everything, the possibilities were limitless, what would you want people to know?
I would like for you to know that just because I'm powerful doesn't mean that you're not. No. To be able to walk in a room and not to shrink your violet is a big thing. To be, I think us as sisters, how we engage each other, if we show more empathy in that process. If people just lean with love with me, because I know how to do the other one, but I prefer to lead with love.
Lead with love.
Kind, and thoughtful.
Yes, yes. Yes.
I'm not that friend that you need to talk to every day, but if you have a fire in your house, I'm the one you should call, because I'll be there with some water.
Yeah,
I'm that kind of person.
Yes, yeah. My friend Margaret, who I grew up in high school with in Jamaica, she's watching you. She says, I am loving this lady.
Thank you.
This is just
a lot. I had to put in a lot of work. It was a lot of therapy. It was a lot of workiness. It was a lot of I had the story that if I was to share, you would not think that I was able to achieve what I achieved. Yeah, single parent home, severely learning disabled, severely. But I can think of, so we were proud. I mean, we lived in poverty. It was years of spam and you name it, bologna sandwiches. But every bologna sandwich, every can my mom opened up a camel soup, every government cheese with grilled cheese, everything, every experience, nothing took away from me. It was just an added experience. And if it was not for that struggle, I would not be who I am now. If it was not for that learning disability, that is the reason why I am a problem solver, right? Because I had to adjust in everybody else's world without my comfortability. So now my prayer is for more endurance and more ease.
Wow. Wow.
For the pain to taste sweet.
Yeah.
There ain't no way.
Say that again. Say that again. Say that again, Syreeta. You broke up. For what to taste sweet?
I want my pain to be sweet, because you cannot get through it. I have 2 children. I have a mother who's almost 80. Somebody's going to transition. Some dismay is going to happen. I want to walk in whatever those life experiences with the knowing that, one, God got me, Spirit will support me, and there's no pain that I can't get to. I want to have a level of, I want to be queenly about my pain. And have my moment to be human enough to fall and cry and do everything else I need to do, and it not take away from the totality of who Syreeta is.
You are what we all should ascribe to be. I want to tell you how you helped me today. This morning, I went to go pick up some body washes. I'm going to go see my siblings. I hadn't seen them in a while, so I'm taking a road trip with my husband. I'm going to go see my siblings. And the person that I got the body wash from didn't look, upbeat. So she says, Muva, I'm having a hard day today. And she shares with me that this 25-year-old was diagnosed with sarcoma a couple years ago. They just told her she had 2 months to live. And it hit me here because one of the people that I love dearly dropped dead suddenly. And I'm going to say this without crying, because I tell people all the time, I'm struggling with it. And I try to live in a way that allows me to remember her and to lift up what she constantly does. And every time I hear about someone else dying or someone else struggling, all I kept saying is, God, can you just show me how to,
I'm sorry,
love people while they're here, meet them where they are. And you helped me today. You helped me today. Not that I wasn't doing it, Syreeta, but you showed me that I was always on the right path all along. And for that, I want to thank you. I really, truly want to thank you. I don't know why my spirit was so drawn to you. I was like, and I texted you, I said, I can, because I'm like you, I'm an empath. I don't always show that I am.
Me too.
Tell you what I saw. Yeah.
And then how you called me on something on the text. I was like, damn, she right. Oh shit. Oh, I'm sorry. Ooh, my apologies.
Because I had to tell you what I saw in you. I did.
Yeah.
And I was hoping that you would receive it.
I did. I received it. And I thank you for it. Because that's something that I'm actively, like, I went to Reiki this Sunday, and before I got on the table, she was like, well, okay, what are you working on? I was like, I need to work on my heart. Because living this life hurts. Like, it hurts. You can't have you can't have the human experience without having the human experience. You know what I'm saying?
You cannot have the human experience without having the human experience. I love you. You're just wonderful.
No, because as Black women, we carry this fake cake that makes us sick, that creates diabetes in our body. Why do you think we like sweets and sugars? Because we're trying to crave something that we don't have in real life. So it takes a journey to even decide to wake up and put on your lipstick for me. You put your cheeks on for me. You did all that for us, baby. I was trying to get sexy for you too. I got caught in the shop. I was talking to this sister who came in. You had to talk to her. She's brilliant. She's a chef and she's audacious. I don't know what. And as we was talking, I was like, no, I need to go home. I need to look pretty for my baby. But I got my real deal. So if God brought us into each other's lives to give a kind word, to give a hug, a nod of I see you, to allow for you to put down your shoulders. It feels good when somebody pull you into their breast.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It feels good.
Yeah.
I'm not that friend for every day, but I'm that friend when this happens that you call me.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
I'm that friend you can put down your shoulders, right? And I see your humanness and all your strengths and what you think is weakness. So that's the reason why Duafe's been around for so long, because I've been able to offer the same compassion that I've always wanted from other people.
Offered the same compassion that you have always wanted from other people. My sister, this journey doesn't end here. The show ends, but this journey does not end here. You and I, the connection, oh, I hope Philadelphia is ready.
They not the first time you have, and I was talking to my my administrative person. I said she has an infectious spirit. So nobody can, you will not draw anything to you that you're not deserving of. Even if you feel like it tastes a little bitter, that person's getting some sweet from you, right?
Oh.
And so when I saw you the first time, as I said, it was at Amina's Jazaza. It won't come out my mouth. And you spoke life when we were there for death. All right. You show up.
Yeah. Yeah. Can I tell you, I don't even remember meeting you there.
That's okay. I remember you. You can't take my memory away.
Okay. So listen, the show is over.
Okay.
I am super duper excited. For those of you who are just joining us, I don't know what to tell you. It was Syreeta Scott from Duafe Hair Salon. The phone number is 267-297-7636. She and I are going to connect outside of this. I want to thank you for joining the Philadelphia. Let me tell you, let me just read some of the stuff to you. God brought me here today for this, and I am so grateful. This is from Margaret. Andrea Robin Manley said, this was everything. Seriously. Kathy said, yes. Michelle Pugh said, totally encouraging and inspiring. Cherish and honor each moment. Keep moving and pushing forward. So glad to hear this message. You tore it up today. You literally had the folks going, yes.
Thank you for giving me the space. Thank you.
Oh, there are going to be more spaces. Spirit tells me that you and I are going to be doing some work together, and that we're going to be bombs for each other. Because
I accept.
Yeah, me too, honey. Me too. I needed you. I needed you more than you want to know.
And I was trying to keep my little, my composure. Usually when I'm in front of, I'm always interviewed, and I'm like, no, I'm just going to check me to the side. I'll pick back up later. But thank you for allowing me to be my whole self in here.
Yes, you're quite welcome. So welcome. This version of the Ask Muva Lunch Hour Live is now officially over. Goodbye. I'll talk to you soon, Syreeta. Take it easy, my sis. All right, bye-bye.